Well, the Anthropic AI case came out, and there are some things about it that are pretty interesting all the way around. Now, this is a big hot button right now, and if you go to Blue Sky, they are ranting and raving about this. And their objectives to try to shut down companies like Anthropic completely. And they kind of think they're doing so because they're all in this little echo chamber where they're like, everybody is anti-AI. In the meantime, in the real world, so much AI is being used in writing and across the board that it's really already changed the game, and a lot of these people are being left behind, and they know that, and that's why they're so angry and afraid. They don't want to adopt this technology, and so they want to fight it as much as they possibly can. Now, as we know, AI is a very, very, very lucrative market. If you just look at NVIDIA stock, that tells you everything you need to know about where people think the future is going with this. You're not going to make it go away. You're not going to make it stop. You're not going to make it stop getting better. And so it is a futile effort that these people are doing. Now, the thing is, they are also lying to themselves. SFWA president Kate Ristow actually put out an email that kind of misrepresents the situation almost entirely with this Anthropic settlement case that actually came out. We're going to go over SFWA's reaction as they've gone through this. Now, SFWA has been throwing a big fit about AI for a long, long time, ever since it's been starting. They almost canceled Worldcon over it was because they used AI in their panelist selection process, and so they got all mad about that. And you're just not allowed to use AI ever or else. And all these people are ridiculous. They're all pretenders. Now, what is SFWA? It's the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Association. Back in the day, it used to be a professional organization which all the major science fiction writers were in, and it was a thing that, like, you know, the big names in the industry, like Jerry Pournelle and the like, used their weight and their clout to actually go through and go to publishers and say, no, you're not going to screw authors in these contracts that you have. We're going to help fix that. These days, you can publish yourself on Amazon for the most part and make more money than most of these companies, and you know the contracts are mostly standardized across the industry, so they don't really have any purpose in the online era. Now they're just a wannabe writers clubs of a bunch of weird blue-haired leftist political activists who just go out and fight online, and then have these little private forums where they can complain together. Now that's what it is. Now SFWA, like I said, is a completely political entity. I, of course, qualify for it a million times over. They've lowered their standards to the point where even my AI, I have a pen name as an AI, qualifies for SFWA at this point, which is really funny. And they, of course, banned me in 2018 when I tried to join because they were trying to make it a political thing. And they continue to do this to this day. Kate Ristow, the current president, I attempted to talk to her for a moment, and of course got blocked as soon as she learned who I was. These people are not professionals. They are LARPers as professionals. Kate Ristow, as the president, doesn't sell any books. She's not making a career out of this for real. She just is using this as a clout sort of structure. And the big clout thing right now is AI, like I said. So let's get into this in just a moment. There's your background on it. And on the case, Anthropic was in a lawsuit, which, of course, was about generative AI, and they wanted to shut that down. And on top of that, there's a secondary component of it about pirated books that were used to allegedly to train the AI. And how does that work? Let's get into this in a moment. My name's John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author multiple times over in nonfiction and fiction, fantasy, science fiction, and actually religious philosophy for nonfiction, which I appreciate, guys. My new book's been really crushing it on that level. But if you're a science fiction fan, and this I hope you are, I would like you to check out my Justified. This is a trilogy that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And despite all the weird, political stuff these guys have tried to do, it just keeps resonating and keeps selling, and I know it makes them seethe. It's in the description below. This is hard-hitting, action-packed sci-fi. If you like Star Wars, Warhammer 40K, you're going to enjoy this. This is crusading in space, and it's a lot of fun. So it's in the description below. It's available on ebook, print, and audio. Grab the whole trilogy. It's really nice. I'm going to get back to this world eventually because I have some ideas, very, very, I'd say, artistic ideas that I'm not going to spoil, but yes, check this out. It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, supporting great science fiction and independent works. All right, so like I said, there was a case with this going on, and They are settling. And so what does that mean? Well, SFWA will try to tell you one thing, and this is what they wrote in their email to their members. The class action lawsuit against Anthropic that SFWA supported through an amicus brief, so they wrote a note saying, yay, as if that does anything, reached a preliminary settlement. My fellow commissioner with the Authors Coalition and I met with lawyers from some group representing authors in this case. The basic argument in the class action lawsuit is that Anthropic infringed on author copyrights. Instead of going to court, they have agreed to a settlement. That's a big victory for authors. What does this mean? Well, if you look at the way they phrase this, it would make it think that somebody generating content with AI is a infringement on copyrights. This was not what was ruled in the case whatsoever. So this person is manipulating her base within SFWA to make it look like generative AI has been ruled as something that's stealing authors' works and the like. Whenever you write in AI or whatever, that is now ruled that it's an infringement on copyrights. That's not it at all. In fact, a judge said that the output of an AI is transformative, and that transformative means that it is not subject to any copyright of any other works, because you could say write in Kate Ristow style, which I probably won't know what that is, but if it did, you can write something in her style, and that's a style. You can't copyright a style, right? And so it makes its own work. It's very obviously its own work, and so it's not stealing. That's exactly what this judge said. There's actually a second one going on with Meta in a different lawsuit where the judge also ruled that it's transformative. So no, they're not ruling that AI-generated works are infringements upon author copyrights. Not at all. He separated that aside, and he said, okay, so anything that is trained on that these guys bought as their works is fine. And this makes a lot of sense, because think about it this way. If you wanted to learn science fiction, you wanted to learn like space crusading science fiction, this is one of the best space crusading science fictions out there. So you might read this, you might look at it, you might take some notes on how it's structured and how my writing style is, and like try to do that yourself. That is you learning to be a writer, and you would be copying my style after purchasing my book. There's nothing wrong with that. That is how authors learn. You read a lot in genre, and then you actually take away from that, and you understand the genre, and so your influences work for you. And so that's exactly what AI is doing on a much larger scale, because it's influenced by a lot, and you can actually work on multiple styles and the like with it, which is interesting. And that's it. And so it makes its own stories, and those own stories are not stories that are owned by anybody else, right? And so that's how it works on that level. So this is a complete lie. So SFWA's president basically lied to her group, acting like that this company is going to get shut down and the like because of that. Now, what the separate ruling was there's an allegation that pirating sites were used to grab books, and those pirated books were then, of course, used. Well, the judge, they were talking about that. That's a separate thing. This is what they're settling. They're settling for the pirated books. And again, SIF was acting like they're going to shut it all down. If you go on Blue Sky, one author, Alex DeCampi, was going off saying, if every author who's had their work stolen signs up for this, it's going to completely destroy them, and it'll end AI forever. That's also not the case. So what happens in a settlement is that Anthropic goes like, okay, the fair market value of your ebook or whatever is, and it's not even like what it sells for on Amazon, but what the author actually gets after the publisher takes a cut and after the agent takes a cut. On average, you're looking at about 99 cents a book. And since that's on average, they're not going to parse everything out there. So if there's 1 million books it's trained on in there, and if every author comes in on that, it doesn't matter actually if any author's coming on. If one author comes in, there's $1 million. And that's what they agreed upon, and that's what the lawyers will agree upon also in this class action. So that $1 million comes in, and that's right there. Then, say 1 million authors sign up. Well, each author gets $1. That's how it works. If 2 million authors sign up, well, each author gets 50 cents. It doesn't change the settlement amount. So these people are just completely out of their minds and don't understand how court works. Now, at that point, they've settled it, and they've already dealt with that, so they're not going to have another class action lawsuit. So Anthropic's going to go just ahead, and it's over. And then Anthropic continues along with Claude and the like, and they've actually had a big victory for Claude, which is that the judge ruled that the works that Claude outputs is transformative and that authors don't have any standing in that kind of thing. So this is expected to be the first of many lawsuits, she says. Yeah, not on this thing. There's going to be different companies that if they train their AI on pirated works, they might get hit with pirated things, but all these companies can afford $1 million, $2 million or whatever on this. There's not going to be much coming down the pipeline that Claude has to deal with on this. And so them settling this and having this all said and done with a class action lawsuit means they've already handled all this kind of thing, right? What does this mean? We don't have all the details yet, of course. The judge ordered a lightning quick agreement process with the settlement, which will be negotiated and filed by Friday, September 5th. So that the dollar amount's probably already on the table and figured out. I don't know how much it's going to be. We'll find out, I guess, on Friday, September 5th. But again, the other part of this is already settled way earlier, as the judge ruled that it's totally fine for AI to output whatever it outputs. There's nothing wrong with that output. There's no copyright involved. You didn't get stolen from. You're not going to be able to shut this down, and they're acting about this. So here it is. Why is SFWA emailing you? As an organization representing authors and creators, SFWA participated in supporting the lawsuit before the court. We met with Authors Coalition. It sounds like Authors Coalition did the heavy lifting, and she's trying to take credit. We met again with lawyers to discuss the settlement. The class still needs to be finalized. SFWA is working with attorneys to collect author information. If you receive a notice, you'll be able to participate, not participate, or object. And here it is. This is for authors to sign up and say, hey, I'm on this pirated list. If you're on the pirated list, here's the books that are on the pirated list. I'm available on this, right? And that's it. And so, like I said, if no authors sign up, there's $1 million settlement. Well, the lawyers are going to get half of that, and you might be one of 10 that gets $10,000 for your books, right? If that's it. If a million authors sign up, you're going to get $1. And so it's not going to change. In fact, the more authors that sign up, the worse the settlement gets for each individual author, because you're not going to get much out of it. So this isn't going to go anywhere. Anthropic is not going to be put out of business or anything like that. This is not some big win that is a copyright infringement like it's actually talking about. It's just the pirating aspect that is pretty much what everybody agrees about. So SFWA pretty much lied to its members to make themselves look important, make them look like they're doing something, and make it this sort of echo chamber where they can convince people that they're taking down AI. And they're not. They're not doing anything, just like they're not actually selling books. And none of these authors are actual professional authors to begin with. They make hobby money and pretend and LARP as professional authors. They go to conferences and talk like they are. This is just an extension of that once again. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. This is your real science fiction and fantasy news here. The news you won't get anywhere else. And I know they're watching this video and seething. But you know what, Kate? I don't have a problem with you, but you should, try to actually. I'm an author who's actually a professional here. Try to actually stand up for me. Isn't that what the Science Fiction Writers Association should do, rather than trying to hate out people? I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm allowed to have my opinions on the internet, and you can knock it off. And then, maybe I can help you guys actually have a club that matters. All right. This is my book, Justified, Saga of the Nano Templar. It's a trilogy. I think you'll enjoy it. Grab it. It's in the description below. Great science fiction stuff. And it's available on ebook, print, and audio. Thanks for being here.